Uh-oh. Hey, welcome. Looks like we have an error maybe on Facebook. We'll try and get that working, but welcome on YouTube. And to another Ask Me Anything, February 8th, happy hour, State of the Union last night. Lots of good questions coming in. The 3-day Money School Essentials training this weekend starts Friday morning. We'll see you there, but we're here right now to answer all of your questions. So we're going to play this quick video. We'll be right back with the team, and we'll answer all of your questions. All right, welcome back to Ask Me Anything. We got the full team here today. Gabby, Shauna, Hannah, Carson, Jason, Joe, and Mr. Noggle himself. So, Mr. Noggle, take it away. I'm going to work on getting this thing to stream on Facebook for a minute.
All right. What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us for another happy hour. Ask Me Anything as I get into one of Joseph's favorite ultra infusions, a little bit of pomegranate and agave. So looking forward to this. We had just an unbelievable couple days here of preview events. We just wrapped up today's wealth webinar. It was fire. I have never had a wealth webinar with that many questions. I think we went through over 65 questions, and we went into overtime, if you will, because we couldn't get them all done. So I'm really excited. I'm thinking we're going to have a lot of great questions here because the questions were fire. So I'm pumped and ready to get into whatever you all have for us.
Okay. I guess we'll kick off. We have one pre-submitted from Brian. Brian says he has one question with two variant follow-ups. So I'll start with the first question. He says, how much do you panelists recommend keeping on hand as an emergency fund?
3 months of overhead. That's what I say.
I usually do 3 to 6 months.
Pop says 2 months.
Yeah, well, Pops has got his policies well funded.
Yeah. That's a good point. I've been keeping mine a little bit more in the last year or so, just because I've been through trauma in the past. So a little bit of extra feel good. You know what I mean?
I think that's the answer. It's just where you're at emotionally, like what feels right for you. Like the point where it feels like, okay, I've got this much saved aside, and you're talking about, are you going to use it to overfund a policy? And you start tightening up and feeling like, oh, that's scary. That's your number when it starts getting scary.
Let me add, and people should know what their overhead is. If you don't, y'all should be tracking what's coming in and what's going out each and every month.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah, Hannah, I'm going to go for it.
We're just having issues with some of our streams. Like we're not streaming on any of Facebook's platforms right now. And
yeah, so something's wrong with StreamYard. When I logged into StreamYard, it said they were having Facebook connectivity issues. Okay. So I was hoping by the time we went live, it would work, but it's not. So I was just trying to play around on Facebook. Yeah. We are streaming on YouTube right now.
I just need to comment in the actual Facebook group to go to YouTube just to be safe.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. You know, freaking technology lately. I just don't know what's going on with it.
It's the balloon.
They're firing everybody.
It is. It's the darn balloon. I think there's a major crash coming to all technology platforms. That's my theory.
We're all screwed.
Yeah, back to Hannah's thought, though. Shout out the Money Multiplier podcast. She did a video or a podcast like, I don't remember when, a couple weeks ago with someone talking about budgeting and why budgeting is important. And so that was the first step she talked about before even getting into what you should put in a policy was first the budget. And shout out Money Multiplier podcast. Go find that and watch that.
That's cool. Thanks, Carson.
So with that in mind, he said, do you personally keep this emergency fund in a policy or in your regular bank account?
Bank account, personally. The 3 months of overhead in the bank account, everything else is stored in the policies.
Same here.
Why? What's the reason why?
I got a whole other podcast series coming up on that one. Well, here, I'll tell you high level my personal reasons. I mean, I want to keep my wealth in a safe, protected asset that I know it's going to be there and payable upon demand. You know, if y'all really think that your money's backed up by these FDIC insurance, we got to have a come to Jesus meeting. So that's just me personally.
My wife is my answer. I wouldn't keep hardly any money in bank accounts if it wasn't for my wife's sanity. She likes going into the bank accounts and seeing a little bit of money there.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Okay, and then Joe, he said he has a follow-up 2 question for you. Let me get the full question. Okay, he says, if you're doing an IBC or velocity combo, would you always keep the extra in the HELOC line or keep it elsewhere?
I keep mine in the HELOC. So, I mean, I think I might have $2,000 in the checking account. Everything else is in the HELOC because it's my savings account. It's my checking account. That's where I pull the money from, and I just zoop, zoop, move it over. Why would I pay interest on something that I don't need to?
Cool.
All right.
Okay.
I think we're streaming on Facebook now too, just so you guys know.
Hey, Facebook, you're late to the party.
Let's see. I don't see any comments yet from Facebook. We'll see them rolling in a
Not
little
yet.
bit, hopefully. Bruce is asking, he says he needs the best policy for a 56-year-old real estate investor. Let's talk, please.
I want to take this one. I think Chris
Actually,
would be perfect. Maybe Jason too.
Hey, yo,
Yeah,
call me, yo. Call me. I got the good stuff, man. Call me.
It just needs a number, right?
I actually, Bruce, I've been talking to Bruce. I gave you the link to book with one of our team members. I don't know
Yeah.
if you
So give him the link again.
see.
Well, and it's all how you use it. And it sounds like you have a plan. So you have the key there. You're a real estate investor. So it's how you use it. And you got it. Doesn't really matter what or who you talk to.
Beautiful, Sean. I was going to add that. Good.
Okay. Okay, Tori and Chill. If you were getting a $10,000 plus tax return, what would you do with it?
Yeah.
I can talk to that a little bit. So my case study with Chris is like the mattress money that I used to sit on was like that tax return money too, like especially when you go from just being an individual in the world and then you start having, children, and then your tax returns get a little bit different as that comes along. And I used to just sit on it as cash, but that's what I used to start my first policy, was to take that envelope money and put it in my first year's policy. So that would be my suggestion.
I did the same exact thing. So it's a really easy, seamless way to get started.
Yeah. I don't know what it looks like, but yeah, I would probably put it into a policy. This must have been good days.
What if it's inconsistent of a tax return? Would you put all of it in?
I mean, if there was bills that needed to get paid, like if you could, I don't know. I mean, I would probably put it all in, but it would really depend on that person's circumstances. And then, I would make sure that I could afford the premium deposits every year, after that, or every month after that. But yeah, that's what I would do. There'd be no reason not to.
Or maybe do like a dump in of the 10,000 and then just go with those monthly ongoing premiums, or maybe just put in 10,000, pay it up for the full year. And then maybe next year you drop it down to a lower premium that you want to do. So there's always options there.
Lots of options.
Okay. Best thing, Tori and Chill, to book a call on that link I sent. Drew, he says he's considering taking out a $100,000 HELOC to go deeper into the fuller deal to get the extra percentage point. However, given his wife is a bit iffy with the extra leverage, the HELOC would be at 3.5% for the first year, then 25 basis points over prime after that. What do you think, Joe?
I don't like doing anything with an adjustable right now because they're going to go through the roof. If it was a fixed and there was a set time frame, then he could actually make a logical decision on the amount of money that he would be making compared to the amount of money that would be paid. But playing with an adjustable, it just depends on what the borrower is actually paying him.
Cool. We have a little lull right now since Facebook's not open. So, somebody want to talk about this weekend?
Well, we kind of did at the beginning. Here, real quick, to go back to Drew's question, though, too. I think, Joe, is this kind of what you mean as well? And I'm really doing this for me, so I'm understanding what you're saying. What kind of another variable that would play into it is how long is that fuller loan going to be out there for? Because, I mean, hey, if he's, it says first year. I'm sorry. I read the HELOC loan as 3-year fix. All right. I understand what you're saying now. Okay. No, let's get into this weekend then. If we have no other questions or anything.
I have a question.
What's up?
The two riders that we put on. I was asked about that. The critical illness rider and the other rider. Does that really affect us because we have access to the cash value within the first 30 days? So as I was looking into it with a regular traditional whole life, if you don't have access to that money, then you would need that rider in order to pull the money out or to actually use it. Is that correct?
Accelerate the benefit. I don't know. So I don't know all the inner workings of like what actual cash is made available then when you exercise that rider. But I do know that it's opening you up to more of the equity of inside of that contract to then use the cash in there to help pay for the medical expenses, assisted living, whatever. But I mean, it's not long-term care in that traditional sense, because once you deplete that cash or even that full death benefit, well, now there's nothing there that you can use, and maybe you need more resources. But yeah, I mean, it's there.
That rider, does that include the cash value or above the cash value into the death benefit also?
Above the cash value into death benefit.
Gotcha. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what I needed to know.
Mm-hmm. God forbid we have not had anybody had to exercise that yet.
I have a link.
There we go.
I'm going to put in here, and then somebody is going to talk about it.
Hey, actually, I'm curious about this. Drew, I like your question here. All right, Joe, does this change anything? Because anyways, if he's got that HELOC there, the deal is only for 2 years, then he could take his full earnings back out, and it's 13%.
What is the HELOC paying? What does he have to pay the HELOC to use the money?
Well, HELOC right now is 3.25%, but what are the chances it will go up to 13? I guess is my question. Past 13%, or even I don't know, maybe 12.
Shooting anywhere between 7 and 9 right now on an adjustable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it's only 2, I mean, if you did it for 1, it's locked in for 1 at 3.25, I would go for it at least 1.
Yeah, I mean, if you think of Fuller's deals too, they're typically 18 months, but he's been paying them off early. So you literally just got to pad yourself for 8 months, or not even, 6 months. So I don't think rates are going to go much higher. His spread's going to be enough in that first 12 months from 3 point whatever it is to 12. And that's a heck of a spread.
Yeah.
You're padded. So even if things did go north and your interest rate on your HELOC was north of 12, you're still fine. Plus, you could always call and tell Rob, hey, listen, is there any chance I can get out of the deal early? And if he could get liquidity, he could probably do that. That's the beauty of his new setup with the fund. It gives him the ability to do things like that if somebody needed liquidity.
Hey, I think it's good to bring the attention towards that they are creating the pad, because really with our consumer mindsets, we as we've been taught, we just think when we produce this extra income, it's just free disposable play money for us. It's important to pay yourself first is all I'm saying.
Oh man, any of the people think it's crazy. Like any of the money I make and all my lending, I put it right back in my policy. I guess I'm the one that plays financial gymnastics with the insurance companies. Like when I put a loan out, and I got money coming back to the segregated account, I'm the first one to set up that loan repayment back to the policy. I'll be honest with you, I just like seeing it. I hate seeing money in the bank, and I love seeing money in my policies, and I log into my policies a lot. So that's how I do it. I don't spend any of it. Call me Scrooge.
So, Joe, on the HELOCs, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So I've got the all-on-one mortgage, as you know, and we know how that can adjust after 5 years, but with your HELOCs, are those typically capped at how much they can grow per year? So if they are adjustable, can they only go up 1% a year, or is it open market?
No,
is it just
Yeah, there's some, it depends on how it's built. Some of them have a cap of not more than, 4 or 5%, depending on if it's a community bank or, whatever bank they are. But usually the adjustables will just keep on rising. I mean, I went from what, 3.5 up to 7.25 right now within the last year and a half. I mean, I'm still okay because I have a spread. So it's, the money just comes back in to pay for me using it. So therefore it's okay. But I mean, if it starts going up a little bit more, I'm going to get nervous.
Yeah. So I think if I was Drew, I would just dig into that to see if there's some sort of how much can it go up in a year, and then just do the math. If you're in the fuller deal, the fuller fund for 2 years, are you going to be okay? With my all-in-one, I'm good for 5 years locked in, but then it can adjust up to 1% every year, up to a cap of 9%. So for me, I'd be like, yeah, I'm all in. If I'm getting 13%, I'm feeling pretty decent about that.
But with an all-in-one, like if we're starting right from day one, I try to be debt free within that 5 years. So then after the balloon after it's over and the balloon is ready, well, now it's time to either make a move or get your money back and move on.
Yep. 100%. Yep. That's exactly what I'm doing. I look at, I've got 5, 6, or maybe even 7 years of just using that money, and then I'll get it back in. So
all a numbers game.
Steven, what are you doing?
It's all names. I like it.
He's cracking up in the background.
I'm getting frustrated with this Facebook crap. I keep going in and resetting it, and it keeps saying it's not working.
That's okay. We'll give Facebook a break.
Hannah, can you send me the link to your podcast? Somebody's asking where you find it. I think you can just search the Money School podcast, right?
The Money Multiplier, the Money School. We don't know who the Money School is.
The Money Something podcast.
No, I'm just messing with you. And actually, it streams everywhere. You can go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play. That's all the ones I really know. I know there's other ones out there.
How often do you put episodes out?
Weekly on Tuesdays. Also, YouTube. You can go to the Money Multiplier on YouTube.
Cool.
I got a little setup going on. So you can see I was painting this weekend.
I think a lot of people were. You're not the first person that told me that they painted this weekend.
Yeah.
It's a good weekend for painting. Somebody want to mention the 3-day this weekend?
Yeah. So, Steven, you want to hit the 3-day? What are we doing this weekend?
What 3-day?
Wait, we got a 3-day?
I mean, if you haven't heard about the 3-day by now, then where have you been? I mean, you must be floating around on a Chinese spy balloon or something, because this weekend is no, but seriously though, we've obviously had a few webinars about it. So if you haven't registered yet, it's our foundational training, our flagship training. We've been doing it for 3 years now, perfected. We bring in our trusted affiliate partners. We bring in Chris's best stuff on Friday. We bring in everything you need to control your wealth, control your money, get ready for 2023 and what's to come, and start implementing and taking action. Because at the end of the day, action is what it's all about. We can talk and talk and talk and watch hours and hours and days of YouTube and everything else, but unless you actually put that stuff to action, nothing happens. So that's what the 3 days for, is to open your mind to this and just really start fire hosing it into you. So you can say, okay, let's do this and this. And then you get on the phone after the 3 days with me or Craig or Joe or Carson or Jason or Gabby or Shauna or Hannah or one of our team members, and we'll help you kind of say, okay, what did you like best about the weekend? Like, what were your top 3? Okay, let's do this first, this second, and then we go from there. And that's how you start making changes, little changes that start to add up and allow you to get to where you want to be. So that's the 3-day training in a nutshell. But check it out, moneyschooltraining.com/registration.
Yeah. And the unofficial flow of it is like, we kind of try to do it in like day 1's control, day 2 is grow, and day 3 is like preserve. And we try to kind of walk you through that throughout the weekend. Is control your money, grow it, and preserve it. That's kind of how Friday, Saturday, Sunday goes. And it's recorded. I, put the timestamps on so you can bump it back and forth if you want to. If something sounded great and then you want to redigest it again later, you learn something, it's like reading a book. You take something out of it every time you watch it. So the replay is there for everybody that buys the event.
Okay, I did put the link in. If you guys, if you scroll up just a little bit, it is there. A 3-day training this weekend.
Yeah, grab that. There it is.
It's just okay. Formula E says if I dump in 10,000 into a policy, do I have to continue putting in monthly installments to equal 10,000 every year, or can I put in an amount that I can afford to put in every month?
Yeah, you can adjust it. It's your system you're creating, so you can pick and choose how much you want to put in. You just got to make sure it's within the the minimums, which is 10 times your age. So take your age out of 0. That's the minimum monthly. If you want to figure annual, just multiply that times 12. So yeah, if you put 10 grand in, that could be your dump in, and you could put, I don't know, 500 a month in, 400 a month in. I don't know how old you are, but yeah, a lot of people do that.
I like Tori's comment. This is, it just kind of goes back to taking the leap type of thing. Tori says she's not going to lie. This is scary and mind blowing, but she can't keep doing the same thing she's been doing for 10 plus years. That method clearly doesn't work. Time to shake things up.
I think get it, Tori! Yeah. That moment, they're like, it blinked in their brain. It's like, yes, I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
100%.
Love it.
Does somebody have something to say? I thought I interrupted somebody. No? Okay. Derek says, are the small events that we do private or open to the public? And where can you get the details?
Yeah, public. Yeah, we're doing 23 events for 2023 all across the country. So when we're in a town or village near you, you just show up. Well, you got to register, but then you show up and giddy up and go.
Bring your friend, bring your dog, bring your hamster, bring your pastor.
We're not going to any villages, are we?
There he is. Wait, what?
But actually, no, landing pages are going to come soon. So actually, the first one is coming up. It's in March 16th in Tampa, Florida. It'll come out. Just mark it on your calendars. March 16th, Tampa, Florida. And then also at the end of March, we'll be out in Dallas. So I believe it's the either the 29th and 30th or 30th and 31st. One of those.
Where's Dallas?
We could probably throw the Tampa link in the description. It's just that the only thing on that page is that Hannah's bio or Hannah's face is Brent's face. But I feel like we could share that if you wanted to.
No, let's share it. Yeah. Post it down there.
I didn't know we had that link then.
And then, of course, don't forget, we got the first ever Private Money Club live workshop warrior weekend out in Salt Lake City, Utah, coming up in April. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, shameless plug. I put a lot of heart into that one. So that'll reflect on me for anybody who comes. So
it'll be fun.
I don't think we're making it to Anchorage, Alaska.
Alaska would be kind of cool, though.
It would be cool.
There's a halfway point to Alaska.
And also Hawaii. Why don't we go to Hawaii, y'all?
We should do all of our events in Hawaii.
A long flight.
So far away.
Yeah. To Derek's comment about the one in Provo, that one I think that's the one that is the workshop warrior one. I believe that's the Private Money Club event.
Oh no!
Oh, you have another one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So it's called Rejuvenate You. It's for a group of folks. It's in Provo, the 2nd to the 4th in March 2nd to 4th.
The workshop warriors in all.
Oh.
And then Derek, what I'll do, I'll send you an email. So actually, I have a little discount code because you do have to purchase a ticket for the event, so you can't just come for my segment. But there is a discount code if you want to attend. And then hit me up if you're in town. I'll be in town for the few days.
Derek's ready to travel. He's excited about things.
so.
One of our new, one of our new practitioners has joined recently. So Derek in Arkansas, it's awesome to have you here, man. So go travel. I can't even keep up with this team. You guys are going everywhere. And I feel like we're the Brady bunch. What the heck's going on here today? Like we're all extra quiet because there's so many people. Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's freaking me out.
The Tampa site is moneyschoolrei.com/Tampa for, I think someone's asking for it. Alex is asking for it in the chat.
Did you put it in the chat? Oh, there it is.
I just did. Is that somebody's wind chime? What is that? Do you hear that?
I hear it.
Oh
It's got to be Steven. Look at him giggling.
It's definitely mine. We actually bought a wind. There's a art fest this weekend in our little town, and we bought a wind chime, and it's loud, man. It's chiming. I have the house open right now too because it's beautiful out. But I'll shut my door.
Somebody answer their door.
It's the Ring doorbell just going off.
Somebody really wants to get in. Oh, I like this. She's adding it to her vision board. That's cool. Absolutely. We have a ton, and we have a lot of virtuals too. So Tori, in the meantime, just attend a lot of the virtuals.
Yeah, that's right. Like Tori just said, let's see. Hawaii is not far from Alaska. I guess I never put two and two together that the two aren't that far away. Anyone ever think about that?
Still have to go over
the same time
ocean in a plane.
I'm pretty sure
Like an
they're far
hour
away from
apart.
each other. No?
I don't know.
Somebody want to Google it?
Tori, how far is Hawaii, like on a plane to where you're at in Anchorage?
I mean, I think you could see Russia from Alaska.
I'm going to do it on my phone. If I do it on the computer, I'll freeze.
I don't want to see Russia right now.
Alaska to
Anchorage is a cool spot, though. I've got some stories about Anchorage.
6 hours? What it says? 6 hours.
They don't know how to get there. Let's do a plane. Let's see.
You gonna swim?
Yeah, that's a long
Were there
swim,
any
man.
pre-submitted questions, Gabby? I think I saw one come in earlier today, but I don't know if you got to that already.
I did. Yeah, that was Brian's question.
All right, Chris, we can get you on a flight. 6 hours, 8 minutes. It's going to cost you $640. Would you like me to book it?
Wait, where to?
If you were in Alaska, we got to get him to Alaska first.
Oh, if I was in Alaska?
Oh, I've lost audio again.
Wait,
No,
Anchorage?
No, we can hear you.
Anchorage
So,
to
like,
Hawaii,
from-
not just 6 hours?
That's not.
Yeah, that's what Google says.
Whoa.
Yes, Tori said
Oh,
so too.
kayak. Yeah.
Crazy.
Hey, Chris, stick to money.
Yeah, exactly.
Your geography skills aren't too hot.
Terrible. I had no idea where Idaho was. I had no idea where Las Vegas. I knew where Las Vegas was, but I don't know. I'm all messed up.
Let me just give you. Hold on. Let me just show you this real fast.
Are we doing a geography lesson now?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Hawaii is real close to Alaska. Look at Alaska up here. Look at Hawaii down here.
It's 6
Yeah,
hours.
yeah.
It isn't that far. It's just a little hop over the pond.
And it's so far, dude.
The roundness of the Earth is skewing the distance.
That makes it work.
Google won't let you walk there,
That
swim
makes it-
there, ride your bike there, take a train there. You got to fly there.
All right.
6 hours really isn't that far.
No,
It's like from here to Vegas, or maybe a little bit longer. But
yeah, exactly.
Guys, you
Ask
got
away,
not
Drew.
here.
Ask away, Drew. We clearly need something new to talk about. So ask away.
What's the capital of? Here you go. What's the capital of Alaska?
I don't know.
Anchorage.
Russia's 80 miles off the coast.
We're studying
Fairbanks?
this in honor, so I'm going to cheat. It's Juneau. How about Hawaii?
Juneau.
What's the capital of Hawaii.
Honolulu, right?
How about Idaho? Let's go.
Boy, nope.
Boise.
You know all these?
Okay.
I was just there.
I got
Very
stories
well
about
done.
Boise too. Not AMA appropriate.
I didn't think your Alaska stories were AMA appropriate either. I can kind of tell.
Definitely not.
Yeah, Derek's right. Like we got to go to a flat Earth map. It makes things a lot easier when you're looking at it from a flight standpoint.
I know.
But then you get the flat earthers coming in and saying, "See, told you."
Exactly.
Chris, how come you had 65 questions on your earlier today, and we're getting a few here?
Because we're not streaming to half of the audience that we normally stream to. The only thing we've got on here is YouTube.
So
No
apparently
offense, YouTube.
Facebook doesn't like it. Nothing like my OBS crap keeps freezing up. It's been a technology day.
I think it's funny. I put Ronald's question up, and his profile picture. He's in front of a Las Vegas, Nevada sign. We were just talking about. He said, "What are the top 3 carriers you use for policies?" I read that Mass Mutual is no longer an option.
Mass is definitely not one of them anymore. Lafayette Life, One America is probably our number 1, and then I don't know. Number 3 is kind of a mixed bag. Who would you say number 3 would be for us? I mean, Guardian, Security, Penn. It's kind of a hodgepodge of all 3.
Bingo.
Hannah says it's a tie for 3rd place.
Yeah, I mean, first is definitely One America these days, especially now. Lafayette second. Lafayette's a great company. We just need to, I don't know, they need to fix some of their servicing issues, but that's not anything the client needs to really worry about. Just a pain in the ass for us.
I think this is funny. Drew says he sent a voice text to Chris, and then Derek says, "Don't confuse him, Drew."
play it.
Oh, Facebook's on.
Yeah.
Once a quarter doing a bigger distribution from my business and of around 25K every quarter. And my original intent was to
I'll have to listen to that later.
No, that's his question for Ask Me Anything.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
All right.
What was that?
Okay, here's my question. So I have been planning on once a quarter doing a bigger distribution from my business and of around 25K every quarter. And my original intent was to throw that money more deeply into the Fuller deal this year, doing that basically once a quarter. So what I would be curious about is, given that I am a little apprehensive of adding additional policies on right now, just to make sure that I'm not overextending how much I'm contributing to policies, does it make sense to do it that way, or at what dollar figure would I consider throwing that money into a policy first before adding to the Fuller deal?
Well, my question would be, does he have a policy already with money out? Because wouldn't you be able to take that money? Wouldn't you be able to take that money, essentially pay off those loans, and then retake that out?
Yeah, but I don't know if you'd want to do that. I mean, kind of what he's saying is similar to what Brent does. Brent lends the money out. The money comes back to the segregated account, builds up, and then he lends it back out from the segregated account. That's kind of what he's saying, isn't it? Did I hear that right?
Do you mind if we? I don't know. It wasn't too long. Can we just play it one more time? You don't have to, though.
Okay.
Okay, here's my question. So I have been planning on once a quarter doing a bigger distribution from my business and of around 25K every quarter. And my original intent was to throw that money more deeply into the Fuller deal this year, doing that basically once a quarter. So what I would be curious about is, given that I am a little apprehensive of adding additional policies on right now, just to make sure that I'm not overextending how much I'm contributing to policies, does it make sense to do it that way, or at what dollar figure would I consider throwing that money into a policy first before adding to the Fuller deal?
I mean, Craig, we just did this spreadsheet thing. I mean, I would just I would take that 25K, per quarter, and I would just keep, because the Fuller deal is 100,000 minimum. I don't know if he'd let you kind of layer in at 25,000 increments, but I'd build it up and then just make another deposit into Fuller. And then I would take the income from Fuller. And if you didn't need that income to live and that money needed to go somewhere, that's what I'd fund a policy from. And I would just keep circulating that.
Yeah, that's a very similar approach to what I'm doing with the not the HELOC, but the all-in-one that I have. So very similar approach. And I'm not sure if Toleron is fund if he does increments. Once you make that minimum, if you can just keep adding into it. But
Never asked him that. We should definitely ask him that.
Yeah.
No one else has a comment on it?
Is that Atlas?
Yep.
Aw.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So to answer the question, I've already done the 100K in, so that's all good. Based on my conversation with them, you can basically do additional investments at any amount after the fact. So my game plan was, or my goal was, how do I get to the 250K level as quickly as possible by the end of the year? So that's kind of why I've been like contemplating the HELOC question, the HELOC strategy, as well as I was already intending on, I've got a policy premium that's coming due, that'll come due in April. And by the time that gets paid, plus
That cash.
the cash available from the distribution, that would be like another 60K in. So it's just a matter of like just trying to think through like at what point do I really consider adding more policies versus just throwing that money into the Fuller deal to then use the cash flow from that to fund policies.
I think all your plans, there's nothing wrong with them. I like the idea of, because yes, you're at the minimum. I like the idea of just doubling, like taking the quarterly distributions that you do from the company and putting those into Fuller until you get to your desired. But, and I know you got to, get the wife on board with the line of credit, but I don't think that's a terrible move. And I don't think it's a risky move either because of the time duration on the Fuller deals. I think even if you did that 25, every quarter, like you're talking about, and then you did the home equity line and you just asked them if you would do the home equity line for a shorter duration just to protect you. Just say, hey, listen, can we do this home equity line loan for 12 months instead of 18? Because that way that protects you, and then you can reassess it when the rate goes up, and you can just, hey, if the rate only goes up a little, you can say, hey, just keep it rolling. Or if the rate exceeds, the threshold, then you could say, I can take the money back. You could always ask them about that because you're already an investor with them, so you got a little bit of room to kind of ask for things like that. So
okay, yeah. So the strategy would then be see if I can negotiate the 100K coming from the HELOC just to be at a year, and then reevaluate at the end of the year. Okay.
Yeah, because then it wouldn't take you very long to hit your desired HELOC.
Yeah. Okay.
That cute little kid, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
What's up, big guy?
Yeah. He's a cutie for sure.
Well, this is a cool view.
Yeah, I was going to say, check this out.
Craig loves spreadsheets, apparently, Stephen. Naming us all.
Joe, look at my shoes or look at my one sign on the wall now. It's no longer an empty wall.
There you go.
Yeah.
So who gave us all of these great names? Is that you, Nagy?
Yeah, that's Mr. Windchime.
All right.
I think his should say Mr. Windchime.
Now you got to give Drew one.
Oh.
And actually, let me add to that, Drew. That kind of makes sense. So I think your first goal is that you do want to put more money into the deal because it is going to bump you up into that next profit margin.
Yep.
And then after that, get up to that profit margin. Then with those excess that's coming in on the monthly interest, maybe that's when you want to start more policy for them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, I'm going to drop because he's getting fidgety. So.
Bye, dude.
Bye, Drew. That was awesome.
Okay, Trevor's got a good question. Is 10-10 options trading still a solid strategy given that Chris and Steven are always saying that the end is near?
Yeah, I mean, the 10-10 strategy actually is better when the end is near. Because the problem with the 10-10 strategy, or not so much the 10-10 strategy, but just directional option trades. Like if you're buying puts trying to play the downside or calls trying to play the upside, is that the market's all over the place. So you don't have a set direction in the market. And that's one of the rules of 10-10, you know, pick the market trend. So we don't have a set trend. The trend is kind of sideways. So you could trade with an iron condor. You know, you could do different strategies that we taught in the advanced stuff in 10-10, which is really good for a sideways, you know, trending market. But it's really risky right now because everything is so unstable. You know, the markets are really at a point now where they're probably going to go up a little bit more over the next few weeks, but then they're probably going to break down for the third leg down, which could be severe. Now, once you see that solid trend going down, if you get like 3 days of a downtrending market, then you can really look at it and start deciding, okay, is it going to be a bearish trend? And you could trade the one-sided puts, but I would be very cautious. And I'm not saying that it's not a solid strategy. It's just there's a right and a wrong time to trade the market based on risk tolerances. And I would sit on the sidelines right now. I wouldn't trade any strategies unless you already have positions. Like if you already own a stock and you're going to hold that stock for a while, then like Sodi taught, you know, you should be hedging that strategy or using the hedging strategy and maybe doing covered calls. If you owned 100 shares of something and you're not going to sell those shares, then the covered call is a great strategy. And we taught that in 10-10. So again, you know, 10-10 isn't just one strategy. It was basically, you know, 10%, you know, was the goal that you were shooting for, and you never did overnight trades. So you'd get into a trade and you'd get out of a trade intraday, and you just did that. So it's still a solid strategy. I would just be cautious right now because the market is so volatile.
It's a good question. Okay, I'm not seeing much else come through. Last call. I do have the link, the Google form. I've been trying to put that in for you guys now that I have admin access. I've been putting it in so you guys can basically access that anytime. We always hit the pre-submitted questions before we do anything in the chat, just so, you know, if you want to go first, that's a good way to do it.
And do we have anything else coming in? Just want to put that back up there. Well, it wasn't terrible that we didn't have any Facebook at all. You know, we only had YouTube, so that wasn't bad. That just shows the power of YouTube right now.
A few people said that they were able to watch on Facebook the whole time.
I don't know. I went on and it worked. Like when I click the link up there and it takes me to my Facebook page, it's working. It's streaming, but it's saying it's not linking. And I don't know.
Hopefully next week this will be solved.
Yep,
I do like that Brady Bunch format, though. It is cool.
It's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah. We do have to get used to, like, the energy's not moving. Like, when we have 3, 4, like, the energy moves back and forth. Here, it's kind of like everybody's like, oh, my God, should I go? My turn?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll work on moving our energy a little bit more, right?
Yes.
Last question.
Us.
Last one?
Us. Yeah. The Money Multiplier.
Here we go. Tori says, what are the specific companies you use to establish your policy?
The Money Multiplier.
What?
Yeah.
The only word you know how to say?
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, Tori did just find us through someone's comment on a Facebook group. So she does not yet know that is what we are here for to help with.
Yeah. So the insurance companies that we help people build the IBC policies with would be companies like One America, Lafayette Life, Guardian, Penn Mutual, Security Mutual, just to name like the top ones that we use. Those would be the companies that we would build your policy with. But if you're looking for somebody to help you build your policy, that's what Stephen was saying over and over. Almost you thought he was a broken record, but he's just trying to say that's all we do is, you know, help people do exactly what we talk about. And we help them build the policies, manage those policies, set up structure for those policies with our implementation team. And there's the website right there, themoneymultiplier.com. So we definitely could help you, and we can put a link up so you can schedule a call with one of the money mentors, and they will help you get set up.
Let me get the video first because she's probably not seen the video.
Look at all these views. This is wild. Steven, are you doing this? This is fun.
What views?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, down there.
No, like of us. A second ago, you were in like front of a website, like all by yourself.
I could be a full-time editor over here on these things. Nobody listens to me
StreamYard.
anyway, so.
StreamYard's pretty cool, but you can tell Facebook doesn't like it.
Yeah, so Tori, I just put that link in moneyschoolrei.com/masterclass broadcast, Chris. That you can watch a 90-minute video there, and you're going to get a lot more information on what this is and what you can do to start. And there should be the booking link right below that video too. So all of it's on one page.
Good, y'all. All right, well, I'm gonna get back into it if that's okay with you.
Perfect.
Yeah,
And
but I got. Hold on. I don't think we mentioned this yet. Did we? Hold on. Did we talk about the Money School 3-day
We're
training?
breaking up, Steven. We can't hear you.
What about the Money School 3-day training? Don't be, if you're not there, where are you going to be this weekend? Like, what else would you do if you weren't at the 3-day training this weekend? Starting on Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's going to go all day Friday, all day Saturday. We'll be done Sunday by the Super Bowl. You can still tailgate, drink your favorite beers, eat your pizza and wings, whatever you want to do, but be at the 3-day training this weekend before that happens. How about that?
Let's
Very,
go.
very good wrap. All right. With that being said, get to the 3-day. We'll see you next time.